Oh, then that's fine. Uh, I'm just laughing at your COVID face sign. Your COVID face sign. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome. Welcome to this Unitarian Universalist Church, which includes our congregation here in Birmingham, or here in Tuscaloosa, and also in Birmingham. And we have folks online, of course. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are today, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. To all who are here this morning, welcome home. All right. Announcements. Do we have any announcements from the floor? Wow. Okay. I want to give you two. One, our book study on the book Quiet, which is about introverts. So it'll be a quiet meeting. We'll be here Thursday at 4:30 in the sanctuary. Also, next week on Friday the 13th, we're going to have dinner out at the Shrimp Basket. So let's go break some rules and have something fun on Friday the 13th. So, Ash, what was yours?
Not so much an announcement, but on the calendar we have the baby celebration for Cup. Just for anyone who's coming, we're doing a taco bar. So we're all ready to go.
And that is when?
The 22nd.
The 22nd. All right. All right. Any other announcements?
And what is cups again?
Thank you.
Cake. No memory.
That's okay.
Can I make a quick one?
Sure.
Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be with you this morning. We are trying to get our partnership with Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, our partnership meetings relaunched. We need a couple representatives from Tuscaloosa. We get a couple from Birmingham, and those groups meet on Zoom, usually once a month, once every 6 weeks or so, and just continue to talk about our partnership. So if you're interested in that, let me know or Steve know. We'd love to have some folks involved in that.
Anything else? Our prelude prepares us for worship. Thank you, Ken. Please rise in body or spirit for the lighting of the chalice. We gather as many drops, each winding our own path down life's surfaces and ruts. Here we pool together as a single body, flowing together for a time. Together we are a stream, at times even a river. For with our shared force, we can travel towards oceans of meaning and seas of connection. In the spirit of inclusivity and welcome, please take a few moments to greet those around you, especially those you do not recognize.
Well, I thought that would be an easy job. Can you do this so I can greet people? Pull all the caps off and put them in here. Good morning. Good to see you. Good morning, Therese. Good to see you. Good morning. Good to see you. I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad to see you.
Make sure I introduce myself. I know we met last time we were here.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm glad to know. Yes, I'm glad to know you. So I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thank you. Good morning, Matthew. Good to see you. Good morning again. Good morning. Good morning, Steve. In person. Amazing. Good morning. I am.
Can't have that.
You know, I just love violating laws. Rebellious preacher. Good to see you, Gene. How are you doing?
Oh, we're doing okay. I'm continuing to all sorts of red tape. It's amazing.
Yeah.
All the things that Kathy knew about, and I have to practice. No, I better fix it so the utility does.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Families have to make over 1,000 decisions when someone passes. So, yeah. Hey, good to see you.
Oh, my glasses.
Oh, sorry.
No, I.
Hope I didn't dirty them. Good morning. On courage? Uh-huh. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Thank you.
White Road.
Okay. I would love it. Thank you for sharing. Good morning, Mark. How are you? Good morning, Deborah. Good to see you. So glad you're here. Hello again. Hello again. Yeah. The painting? Yeah. I will post a picture. It looks amazing. Yeah, it looks great. Good morning.
How are you? I'm so good that you're here.
Glad to see you.
So glad that you're here.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. Hi, Pat.
South Carolina.
Hi, Pat. Welcome.
You've been having a good time?
Okay, great.
You've been cleaning up pace.
Oh,
You've
well,
been having a great time.
I'm so glad you're here. So nice to meet you.
It'll be a wonderful service.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah. Except it's going to be Tuscaloosa's. Yeah. Couldn't leave y'all out of the fun. Good morning, Sam. Good to see you. Good morning, Mary. Good to see you. Hey. Good to see you. I have a time for all ages, unless you want to do one. Okay. But either way, I want to let the church know you're moving into more of a volunteer status. They did? Okay. You did. So they're
Hi.
great. Then we don't need to do that. Other than I want to appreciate you. So, okay.
All righty. Well, let's see where we are.
I think we're singing.
We're singing.
Singing.
Okay. So we're going to sing now. So, please rise in body or spirit, and our hymn this time is 361 in the gray hymnal. Ah, there is one in here. 361. And I guess we'll do all the verses.
Let's do it.
All right. Sing like you mean it.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Yeah. Our church is supported by those who call our church home and by those who support the efforts of our church to change our world for the better. If this is your first time here, please allow the plate to pass. We're just thrilled that you're here. We share our cash plate every Sunday with organization whose work reflects UU values to care for marginalized persons, advocate for real and systematic change, defend our environment, and promote justice and equity for all. Our Share the Plate partner this month is Druid City Pride. This morning's offering will now be taken. So next we do joys and concerns, right?
If you want me to do this part, because it's different, I'm not going to do it. You want me to
Go
do
ahead
it?
and do that.
Okay. It's a lot of moving pieces, I know. So today, as you might have seen, we're going to do something a little different. Nobody's going to get hurt. It's going to be fun, okay? And if you were here last week, you might have seen me do this in Birmingham, but I don't want y'all to miss out on the fun. So y'all ready to have a little fun this morning? All right, all right. So in place of our circle of lights, and I realize that might give some of y'all a stroke. So if you need to come up and light a candle, you can still do that. No one's going to be offended. But we are going to co-create something together this morning in place of the circle of lights. So up front, we're doing it a little different than Birmingham too, so I need everybody tuned in. So you come up here, there's 3 cups, okay? The cup to the farthest of your left, I want you to squirt a generous amount of paint to represent your past church or academic year. So what was, the last part of the whole 360 days, what's the last 360 days been like for you? You're going to pick a color and squirt it in that cup. And again, not a drop, but like a, all right? Everybody got it? In the middle cup, I want you to add a color to represent how you're feeling today. Everyone got that? So last year, today. In the third cup, I want you to add paint to represent the upcoming church and academic year, what your hopes for the future are, what color represents that. Okay? Has everyone got it? Now, after we add all the paint, we will invite you to come up and share, if you'd like, about any of those 3 cups or about anything you lit. So you'll still have that time to come up and share, okay? But we'll do that at the very end. So unless anyone has questions, I invite you to come forward and share your paint. Please come forward. These over here are sparkly. I forgot to mention that. So, yeah, and do a big squirt. Big squirt. Yeah, like a lot. A little more. Cover the whole bottom. A whole layer. Get a lot of paint in there. Yeah, good job. Cover the whole bottom. Big squeeze, big squeeze. There you go. All right. This is like gold and bronze and silver, and this is just brown. But this is the copperish one. Oh, it's great. We need the cups ideally full by the end. So. All right, great job. All right. Declan, do you want to come on over and start the left cup? What do you want? Y'all don't have to do it in order. We can have a person at each cup, unless it just bothers your senses. Yeah. Did you get some in there? Yeah. Great. You want to put one in the middle cup? How do you feel today? You feel red? Squirt a lot. Big squirts. Big squirts. There you go. It's a good squirt. What about here? What do you think for the future? Come on over here. There you go. Big squirts, Therese. There you go. That's awesome. another yellow. I didn't realize it didn't have much in it. Okay. Did you get all three? Oh, yeah. All right. Past, present, future. I love it. Yep. Hey, good morning. Here's the pink. Here's the pink. Squeeze it in there, Miss Bella. Big squeeze. Big squeeze. There you go. Good job. Great job. Okay, do it quickly. Past, present, future. How do you feel this past year? Don't undo it, sweetie. It's not. Just do this. Okay, squeeze it in. Oops. Good job. Good job. Good job. All right. Do you want to squeeze one in today? What's today? How do you feel today? Do you want to squeeze one in the others or no? Y'all can join him, past, future, present. Go ahead and get on in here. You're good? Okay. Any more red? And then there's silvers and bronzes and coppers over here. This is silver. And then the future. Did you get a future one in there? It's okay. Gonna put some silver in there in the future. There you go. Love it. Great. Good morning. What's that? Past, present, future. Yep. 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 We also have a bunch of sparklies, silver and copper and gold, and if you want any of those. You want to come on up, Susan? We can have a couple up here at a time. Yep. Well, Ron's doing it backwards too, so. Here. There you go. There you go. Well, blue has been popular. There's also this blue and this blue. This has a little bit left, and this one has a lot. Stark, you want to come on up? Past, present, future. Yep. Just do it as quickly as you can so we can keep moving. It's all good. Good job. Got to do the other two. Especially this one. There's not a lot in that one. Sparkly. I think the yellow's out. Okay, you got some in. Sparkly, sparkly, sparkly. Yep. Yeah. You don't have to, but I'd like you to. Blue. Awesome. You have to shake that one a little bit, yeah. This blue has a lot in it, but the other blues are kind of out. There you go. Great job. Past, present, future. Got some sparklies. This is silver, copper, gold, gray. Yep. Thank you. Yes. Come on up, Ann. We can handle two at a time. Future, present, past. Yes. There is this other yellow that may have a little. Yeah, this one has some. Okay. It's all good. Present and past. Come on up, Monty. Future, present, past. All right. Yeah, the only blue that has some is this. So, yeah, it's got a few squirts in there, but. All right. Are you okay? Just moving stuff out of the way. Feel free to grab whatever. Oh, go ahead, Sue. Go ahead. You sure? Okay. All right. Has everybody contributed that wanted to? Yes? All right. Would anyone like to share what you squirted? Are you ready to just see the action? All right.
I squirted red, blue, and green because they're the primary colors which make up the variety of life, and to represent the motto of our nation, Pluribus Unum.
Awesome. I love it. All right, if I could have my helpers up here. Joshua, start. Start, you have to be on that side, baby. And you're going to have this one over here in the corner, okay? Okay. Got it? And Joshua, I need you kind of midway up here. Got it? Right here? Okay, hold on, I don't have mine yet. All right, ready? Go toward start. What? Yes, we can go toward you because we changed, remember? Okay. Hold it onto the canvas. Carefully, carefully, carefully. Woo! All right, so now let's make this. So this represents the past, all of the past. And this represents your present. Ooh. And this represents the future. So now we do the part that I, have nightmares about. Make sure it's all covered. I did, and I forgot to this time, so I'm just praying to all the Unitarian gods that they guide me through this time. Woo! Look at that. And I will say, you all created this. So you get to think about what happens next to this beautiful painting. And it will change as it dries, which is one of the fun things about this particular art style. So you can see your colors in it after the service. So. It is a cocktail of paint, yes, and I would be happy to share it after the service. I can also come do a workshop later if you'd like to make individual ones later. That's what I've promised the folks in Birmingham who were so excited about it. So, we have honored our past, present, and future. I invite you at this time to join me in a spirit of prayer and meditation, followed by a moment of silence. Our meditation this morning was written by Reverend Israel Bafardi. Find a comfortable position in your seat and close your eyes. Take a deep breath and find the restorative power of air and water in your breath. We must breathe to live, but our bodies also need water to survive. Our bodies are more than half water. The air we breathe contains tiny droplets of water vapor. Can you feel them in your breath, flowing in and out of your body like waves gently rolling in and out from the shore? Take in a deep breath with me now. Now notice your feet on the floor. Feel your connection to this sanctuary and its old stone foundation grounded in the earth, connecting us to the generations who have gathered here before us. Ancestors whose presence lingers in this sacred space. What dreams and visions did they pursue here? Now imagine these ancestors calling on us to create a new community at the start of a new year. What sort of a community will we create? Ancient Hebrew tradition says that before the earth was created, the world was a wild ocean full of dangerous sea monsters. Our world may sometimes feel like a wild ocean. We may feel like we are fighting against impossibly strong sea monsters. But the waters are as mighty and powerful as the sea monsters, and that power runs in and through us with each breath, in and out. As we breathe, may we feel the rhythm of our breath, like the powerful waves crashing on the shores, turning and tumbling the largest boulders into the tiniest grains of sand. As we breathe in, may we feel the restorative power of air and water, nourishing the cells of our bodies, giving us the power to pursue our wildest dreams for our community and our world. And as you breathe, notice the sounds. In like the whistle of the mighty ocean, out like the crashing of the powerful waves. Let us breathe and make those sounds together now as we find our strength to begin the work of creation. Let us take a moment of silence together. Amen and blessed be. Will our children please come forward and help me with the story? All right, be very careful of our painting space, son. This is something happening over here. There's a lot of purple in that future. Yeah, you can look at them. It's cool. Isn't that cool? Did y'all see what you created? Yeah, don't touch it. It's very, very wet. Yeah, isn't that wild? Yeah. It's wild. Okay, did you all know that we can make the sounds of a rainstorm together with our bodies? Did y'all know that? Okay, I want everyone to rub your thumb and forefinger together. Does everyone know what those fingers are? Let's rub those fingers together. You hear it? Hear it? Just a little bit. Now let's rub our hands together. Ooh. What does that sound like? Now let's snap our fingers. Now we can clap our hands. There's a big thunderstorm coming. We got to make it loud. Yes. All right, let's slap our thighs. Yeah, the rain's getting bigger. Let's stomp our feet. Whoa. All right, let's clap our hands. The thunderstorm's kind of dying down a little bit, but it's still coming. Snap our fingers. Trickle them a little bit. Rub our hands. Rub our thumb and forefinger together. Just a little bit of sprinkles. And now let's put our hands on our lap. So the power of water is within each of us. Most of our bodies are water. Did you know that? Your body is a lot of water. Because you have a lot of what? Because you have a lot of blood cells and they need water, right? So we need to stay hydrated. That's really important. But we need to remember that we are connected to the water that falls out of the sky and is a part of the lakes and the rivers and is a part of each one of us. So you make up the water, and it's really, really important. So y'all are going to go play for a little bit, and you're going to come back in a little bit. We're going to do water communion, and we're going to do our ritual together. But I think it'd be fun to go hang out with Miss Debbie for a while, right? Okay. I'll see y'all in a minute. You are welcome to go back with Miss Debbie anytime. Yes, yes. And I'm going to gather my sermon, which is somehow all over the floor. All right, our reading before... hold on just a second. I don't know what happened here. All the fun chaos at church happened. Is what happened? Okay. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay, got it. All right. Our reading this morning is by Melissa Jeter. Water is soft, and yet it is persistent. Water flows and takes the shape of the boundaries it is given. Yet over time, water in her persistence, she can carve through mountains. When you try to grab water, you just get wet. But if you can stop grabbing at her, she will hold you up, and you can float and even swim. Water under pressure cleans dirt off houses and can cut diamonds. Water raging can overflow the bounds put upon her. She can drown whole towns and flood freeways. She can put out fire and save lives. So contradictory, both soft and hard, never dominant or submissive, water sustains, gives, and yields to life. How many of you have watched Lucifer on Netflix? How many of you seen that show? It's a really fascinating show to me because it has a lot of very ancient theology that they're trying to put a spin on. But it's a modern take on that Middle Ages narrative of Lucifer, the fallen angel, who is sentenced to govern hell. And in this take from Netflix, Lucifer escapes hell and comes to earth because he's tired of governing hell. So he comes to earth and he begins working with a detective named Chloe to solve crimes. Makes sense, right? So in some ways, the theology of the show is very archaic. There's angels and demons, sin and perfection, welcome and exclusion. And in season 5, and this is a teensy spoiler, so cover your ears if you don't want to listen, but it's just teensy. But God, the divine being, comes down to earth, and through a very tense family dinner, God is questioned whether he loves his angelic children, because of course they're depicting God as male. But in typical biblical God fashion, when God is asked, "Do you love me?" God doesn't answer the question. God answers with another question. And for anyone who has ever been in that situation where you've asked someone if they love you, and if the immediate response is not, "Yes, of course," what are you thinking in that moment? Anything but that firm affirmation is usually heard as a, "No, I don't love you," right? It's a clarifying and illuminating answer in that scene from Lucifer, and their very understanding of the universe is shattered. Because how can a loving God not love all the creations? For many of us, when the truth we were taught as children is revealed to be skewed or untrue, we rebel from any development of truth or meaning in our lives, even the truth and meaning we create for ourselves. After all, this is why we gather in congregations, because we have chosen to walk alongside others whose journey reflects where we are or where we want to be. Often those who join Unitarian Universalist congregations from other faith traditions envision us as the Garden of Eden, a place of beauty and perfection where everyone gets along, where there is freedom to name animals or concepts in a way that appeals to you, where resources are plentiful and conflict is non-existent. Anyone feel that way the first time you came through the doors? It is a place surrounded, this is true actually, surrounded by natural beauty, flora and fauna, where the humans all define themselves as caretakers of the planet, not dominators as in other interpretations. And our congregation, in a lot of ways, is idyllic for people, especially when we can gather in safe UU spaces like here, or our mountain retreat in North Carolina, or even going up to Birmingham. There's lots of safe spaces that we can gather in. And when we bask in that beauty of being together in deeper and more meaningful ways, it is transformative to our lives. And yet, our garden is still filled with many tempting fruits, like disappointment and gossip and other challenges. We are an imperfect people in an imperfect community, but also we don't think that's shameful or wrong. We aren't here to point out the imperfections because we affirm the inherent goodness and worth of all people. We look at the whole picture of who you are, not just a glimpse in time or a bad day. Even in our imperfections, you are changing your community. Your congregation here in Tuscaloosa is redefining itself for a new era. Emerging from the pandemic, we are still dealing with the pandemic and the repercussions. We would not be here together were it not for the pandemic. You were just fine without me before the pandemic. Do you remember that? But the pandemic brought us together. We are now in a partnership, you are with Birmingham, and we are working together to make Central Alabama a more safe space for all of us. And you are reimagining yourselves for the future. Your board is constantly talking about goals and aspirations and looking forward, and that is exactly what we should be doing. We are forever changed by the courageous decisions of the Tuscaloosa leadership that have happened in the last several years. And we don't want to be a perfect church, not really. It would take away the character, right? We want to be a church that accepts others as we wish we had been accepted in other places. How often have you been in a position where you felt out of place because of your beliefs or your lack thereof? How often have you been in a position where you felt you had to be perfect in order to belong? We want to be a place where you feel welcome and included as you are. We are an imperfect place full of imperfect people doing the best we can with what we have and loving one another in spite of our differences. We are also a church that really wants things to be better. We work really diligently at whatever that ideal view of the future looks like. We want our spaces to be nice and inviting. We want to have well-coordinated events. We want to have opportunities for visitors to plug in, to hear new voices in this community, and to have opportunities to build and nurture new and existing relationships among you. And that's part of being a welcoming space too, having enough volunteers and a clean, beautiful space that you are proud of. As Reverend Rachel Baker writes, this is important because seeking perfection has a spiritual cost. Perfection keeps us focused on the negative and what isn't working right, rather than nurturing what works well. Perfection leads to judgment of each other or ourselves, rather than celebrating each person's unique gifts and perspectives. Perfectionism does not allow errors or flaws and offers no compassion for mistakes or imperfections. Perfection discounts the whole nuanced experience of human life. My colleague, Reverend Sarah Gibb Millspow, shares, internally, perfection feeds our own shame and our own status anxiety. Relationally, it makes our friends, family, and co-workers feel less seen, less appreciated, and less heard. And when we approach our faith communities from a stance of perfectionism, we fail to value our own and others' contributions. We distance ourselves from the joy, the ministry, the blessings we can receive, all because it's not just right. She concludes, from a stance of perfectionism, we don't tolerate the genuine human shortcomings of our communities, our ministers, our staff, our leaders, and we become resentful toward one another. The troubling part of perfection is when one person's notions of perfectionism collide with another's. Because guess what? There's not one type of perfectionism out there. We also seek to move past those barriers and not be full of shame and guilt and distrust. Almost any time I ask someone a question, I say, no guilt, no shame. I am not one of those ministers. I just am curious about whatever's happening. Sometimes in a congregation, we can feel unappreciated or unnoticed. Sometimes we struggle when things change. Sometimes we struggle when our minister has ridiculous things for us to do during service. Sometimes we don't know everyone anymore. And that's because you, as the UU congregation of Tuscaloosa, are growing. And that's a good thing and something you should be very proud of. And that doesn't mean that those who have been here are no longer needed. It means there is more to do, and inviting newer folks into our community and our communal work together. A couple years ago, I was chatting with a visitor, and I asked her how she felt about the service. And her response to me was this: I'm not really sure yet, but I didn't feel bad about myself at the end of the service. I hope that's our goal every Sunday. But at the moment, I was so taken aback by her honesty that I didn't know how to respond. But that's exactly what we hope for every Sunday, that no matter what we talk about, that we leave feeling loved, feeling welcomed, feeling empowered to do justice, surrounded by a community, and encouraged to pursue your own spiritual journey. You are loved for who you are, and you are welcome in this space. We want to be a community that wrestles the antidote. We want to be a community that wrestles with paper and with the tough issues that also affirm the worth and dignity of each of us. And really, this acknowledgement of imperfection is a reminder that we are part of the interconnected web of life. A web of life that is not always just, not always fair or equal or perfect. The cheetah has to eat, and it's going to eat another living creature. And so too does the mosquito. Those mosquitoes are important to our food chain, as annoying as they are. It is all part of the whole. In our imperfection lies our humanity and our connection to the greater world. Our water today that we bring forward, it may include dirt or minerals or sand. It may have other additives that make it not a perfect representation of water, but it is life-giving, life-saving water all the same. Our challenge as a religious community is to practice the antidotes to perfectionism within ourselves, with each other, with our congregation, and out in our day-to-day lives. We gather as a congregation to support each other, to welcome, celebrate, and live into our full humanity with all of our challenges, imperfections, and mistakes. And today is the day that we ritualize this common value of ours, that no matter what you're carrying, no matter what you bring today, you are part of an intentional community. Each of you chose to get out of bed this morning, put on clothes, and drive here to be a part. No one is forcing you to be here. And that is powerful. There is no pause here or no caveat statement. We are not like that image as we mentioned earlier. Perfection is not required or even anticipated. We want you to feel a part, included, loved, and welcomed, with a deep sense of belonging that is so hard to find. Co-mingling our waters together in just a moment is our ritual of belonging. It symbolizes that you belong here. Your contributions matter. Your investment matters. Your energy and your voice and your leadership matters in this community. Let us take a moment to meditate on some music before we begin our ritual of water communion. Amen. Thank you, Mary and Sam and Ken, for that beautiful introduction to our water communion. If someone would mind going and letting the children know that they can come join us, I would appreciate it. It was at a gathering of white women when this gathering of the waters first came to pass. White women in a second wave of gender self-awareness, awakening, connecting, making new meaning, shifting the old ethos. The solidarity of these white women was reflected in the waters that each brought, waters that became a liquid harmony of each sweet voice and intention. And today we gather as a community of humans in a new wave of gender and racial awareness, awakening, connecting, making new meaning, shifting the old ethos. We seek more than solidarity and harmony. We seek inclusion. We seek mutuality. We seek reconciliation. We seek justice for all people. Today, may our gathering of the waters reflect the gathering of our collective courage in service of the grace and love that is promised by our liberal faith. Now, in just a moment, I'm going to be adding the waters from last year's service and from Birmingham, but I do want you to notice there is a special cup up on the altar today. Let me show you what it looks like. This is a cup. So this summer in June at our General Assembly, our national meeting, we passed an action of immediate witness in solidarity with Palestinians calling for an immediate and permanent ceasefire. And so our group who is involved with that, UUs for Justice in the Middle East, have asked us to place an empty paper cup next to our vessel for water communion today in solidarity with the Palestinians who are being denied potable water. So as you come forward, if you wish to spill a little bit of your water in this cup in symbolism and solidarity with the Palestinians, you are welcome to do so. This water contains the water that was gathered at our service at last year's water communion and in years before. At the start of the service, it contained an ice cube that had been melted from previous waters as well. And so we pour this water in to remember our foundation of all those who came before us and all those who were a part of making this place. I also brought a little water from Birmingham to remember our partnership, and I'm going to take some of the water today back to Birmingham for our water communion next week there. So this is some love from Birmingham. Come, commingle your waters together. Remember, you are a part of this beloved community. If you forgot your water this morning, you can use one of the pitchers up here, but I invite each of you to come forward. You may say where the water comes from if you'd like.
No, I just was wondering what your intention was.
Whatever you wish, Sue. Great job.
Go ahead and explain my water. I mean, we didn't go anywhere this summer, and but I did some work outside where I was dripping wet and then with sweat. And then this was we've been to some football games. This was the last bottle of water I had at one of the football games, and I'm sure it has part of me in it. So. as my son.
Guarantee.
This is virtual water from Northside Hospital in Atlanta, where on June 6th, our precious, precious grandchild was born.
Well, this is gonna be virtual snow. I'm from Lake Placid, New York, where we spent our honeymoon in February of all months of the year. And all the groundwater was pretty solid at that time. And, but the waters from Mirror Lake in downtown Lake Placid flow into the Ausable River, which eventually reaches Lake Champlain, and I think it goes into the Hudson River and out to the ocean from there.
Wonderful.
Spent my summer as a caretaker, so this is just from the lake near my house.
This is water from the Rivanna River.
Come on up, guys. Pour some water in.
Where do you want your water to be from? First from our house, but I'd say, come here. We were able to go on a family vacation to a lake this year. Ready, pour? And we got to see some of our friends. So we call it Friendcation. And we go and visit some of our friends from Texas. And during this process, have also met a new friend who they bring along. So
Wonderful. Thank you, guys. Come on, Mike.
So, first is non-water from the creek behind our house that didn't flow this summer, which we're really pleased for because we don't have to dehumidify the foundation.
Oh.
Then this is water from our well. It isn't quite from our well because it has no grit in it. So I spent time cleaning all the filters in the house.
This is virtual water from Fort Walton Beach, Florida, where I vacation with my family.
Ron Buda. As Debbie said, that we didn't go anywhere in particular, but this is my water for my trips to McDonald Observatory. I also have a little bit for the future discovery of water on Europa. Will have and also the return of Halley's Comet in 2061, which is 37 years from now. I'm hoping that my daughters and my granddaughter will remember me when they see these things.
This is water from the mill pond where my husband and his family always fished and where he taught our grandson Christian how to fish.
So I didn't go anywhere. So this is virtual water from my creek, B Branch, which flows into Canyon Lake, and then Little Hurricane, then Big Hurricane Creek, then the Black Warrior, then on to the ocean. So, yeah.
This is virtual water from Scotland. We went to the Loch Lomond. That was a lovely memory that I've been able to bring back and share to many of you. And it's also water from Grasmere, from the lake there, which was lovely. We were right on the water. And then when I brought my daughter up to the University of Maine, the Stillwater River is right there and right next to her dormitory. So water featured the entire summer. So.
Everybody knows how I love to travel, and I had that opportunity this year. I went to northern Spain and Provence and got into the Mediterranean. And I asked myself why I love to travel. I think it keeps me humble, connected to the greater world, and to know how grateful we are and what a job we have before us as well. So I bring my experiences to you.
This is water from the UU congregation in Sonora, California, where I last attended before I moved here, and for the author of a book called Native Resistance, one of the water keepers from North Dakota, whose room I had the pleasure of staying. And that's it.
We have commingled our waters together. We have co-created art today. May you feel that power and beauty and positive energy as you leave this place today. Let us conclude our service.
You will rise in body or spirit. Our closing hymn is number 210 in the very hymnal, Wade in the Water.
I'm going to play a little flute along with this.
Trust in what? It's control the water. Green looks like an Israelite. It's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. In the water. God's gonna trouble the water. See the band all dressed in red. God's gonna trouble the water. It looks like Moses led. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water.
Please be seated.
Woo!
In honor of the legacy of our ancestors, let us carry the flame forward as we extinguish the chalice with these closing words. It starts with a drop, then a trickle, a burble, a rush of water, bubbling toward its destination, and finally, the wide, endless sea. All rivers run to the sea. Today you brought water poured into a common bowl. Though our experiences have differed, these waters mingle, signifying our common humanity. Today, as you came and shared this sacred community, may you depart this sacred space, hearts filled with hope for new beginnings, a fresh start. Go forth, but return to this community, where rivers of tears may be shed, where dry souls are watered, where your joy bubbles, where your life's cup overflows, where deep in your spirit you have found in this place a home. All rivers run to the sea.